So it wasn't always this way, but it seems like everyone and their cousin has a HomeKit air purifier in their lineup, and they're all pretty unique. So what makes the Sensibo Pure stand out from the competition? In today's video, I've got 5 things that you need to know about this HomeKit air purifier. Let's get into it. Greetings Internet, my name is Dustin and this is myHomeKithome. Here we look at the smart home with an Apple HomeKit and accessibility focus. Right off the bat, I do want to thank Sensibo for sending out a review unit, but this is not a sponsored video and they're seeing it at the same time as you. As always, for more information about this HomeKit air purifier, you'll find affiliate links and a link to our full written review in the description box just below that like button. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty and the 5 things that you need to know about this HomeKit air purifier, let's get the Sensibo Pure out of its box and look at some of its features. Alright, let's break this thing down. The Sensibo Pure Smart Wi-Fi Air Purifier uses a 3-layer true HEPA carbon filter, which filters out PM1, PM2.5, PM10, and TVOCs. It's suitable for rooms up to 16 square meters or 27 square meters using Pure Boost. The Sensibo Pure has 4 physical buttons on the face of the device with an LED indicator. It also has a built-in air quality sensor, and you'll get about 6 months of use out of the filter before you need a filter change. All of this connects to your HomeKit setup over a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi band. The first major thing that you need to know about the Sensibo Pure is that you first need to set it up in the Sensibo app before getting it into HomeKit. Since the Sensibo Pure got its HomeKit certification after it had already hit the market, we need to get the HomeKit code from the Sensibo app. Also, there are a few different things that you can do exclusively in the Sensibo app, which we'll get into in more detail in a moment. The second big thing I want to talk about with the Sensibo Pure is what we can and can't do with it in Apple's Home app. The Sensibo Pure does have a built-in air quality sensor, which means that we can create automations based on the room's air quality, not just for this air purifier, but for any HomeKit accessory. For example, you could set up an automation that would automatically trigger a fan to turn on that would help move the air around the room and help clean it more efficiently. Also, you could set up a series of automations that would change the color of a colored light bulb to reflect this certain air quality in that room. Also, I should probably point out that although technically you can set the fan speed anywhere between 0 and 100% in HomeKit, since the Sensibo Pure only has 2 fan speeds, it won't actually change until you've passed that 50% mark. Now, I said that it only has 2 fan speeds, but that's not entirely true, which brings us to the third thing that we need to know about the Sensibo Pure, and that's Pure Boost. Pure Boost is an automation that takes into account the indoor and outdoor air quality, the weather, and your location to put the Sensibo Pure into hyperdrive to make sure that you're coming home to the cleanest air possible. And if you have the Sensibo Air AC controller, which I've also reviewed, it will use your AC's fan in the automation to help more efficiently move air around the room to clean it. With the exception of the outdoor air quality and weather, I've actually set up similar automations in HomeKit in the past using an arriving home-based automation and an indoor air quality sensor like the Eve Room, which when an undesirable air quality was reached would then trigger a dumb air purifier and fan, which I had connected to a couple of smart plugs. So I really appreciate Pure Boost because I don't have to go through the tedious process of actually building that automation, and I have the added benefit of being able to use the outdoor air quality and weather. And though Pure Boost isn't something you can trigger directly in HomeKit, Sensibo does support shortcuts which allows you to enable it using Siri, or better yet, set it up in scenes and automations. The next big thing I want to talk about is something that I came across while doing my research for the review of the Sensibo Pure. On the Sensibo website, they make a pretty bold claim. Sensibo Pure incorporates a triple-layered filtration technology which includes a HEPA filter. HEPA filters are critical in the prevention of the spread of airborne bacteria and viral organisms, and therefore infection. The Sensibo Pure traps SARS-CoV-2, which causes COVID-19, by a process known as Brownian motion. Now, I'm no scientist and I'm not too keen on testing this particular claim, but I looked into it a little bit and it seems that the CDC and EPA do say that HEPA-based air purifiers can help reduce viral transmission as long as they are appropriately sized for the room and have an appropriate clean air delivery rate. So I guess technically it's a valid statement, but I'm going to err on the side of caution on this one. That's right, err on the side of caution. Lastly, I wanted to touch on accessibility with the Sensibo Pure. The physical buttons on this air purifier are a definite win for the accessibility crowd, and I mention this because other smart air purifiers that I've tested use touch controls, which are absolutely maddening if you can't see, and I don't, so I really appreciate this aspect of the Sensibo Pure. However, and this is very specific to people with blindness, the choice of a barrel style connector combined with its placement and the fact that it's surrounded by similarly sized holes made getting this thing powered on an absolute nightmare for me. Now, the software experience was pretty solid with the app navigation being pretty standard and most all buttons being labeled for accessibility. The Sensibo app does offer up some data on use and air quality in graph form, but unfortunately these graphs aren't accessible using VoiceOver. All in all though, I'd say that this device is pretty accessible. Now, these are the 5 things that I think are most important to know about the Sensibo Pure, but that's certainly not all there is to the story. So for a more in-depth written review, head over to the blog at myHomeKithome.com where you'll find it and a ton of other HomeKit related content like the myHomeKithome podcast, which I've been having a ball making. And if you made it this far, that means you probably liked today's video, which means you'll probably enjoy more like it. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our new videos as soon as they're released, like this one or this one. And we'll see you over there.